Hi, my name's Ruhel. I live in East London and I've started my trading career back in January 2019. So I was in uni initially in my first year and I wasn't really a fan of working a full-time job. I wanted to work for myself and see what I could achieve, and I was looking through what I could possibly try, give a go, and I saw trading, and that's when I started and I haven't let go of it since. So before trading, I was in uni. I wasn't really working, I was just living on maintenance. And yeah, it just wasn't for me. So I was just looking around, seeing what else I could do. With a full-time job, it's really restricted on what you earn. Generally, like, you have to live in a routine that isn't necessarily fun, like a 9 to 5, you know, every day is the same. For me, it could become depressing. I could get bored of it because I struggle quite a lot to do the same thing every day. So I wanted to find something that gives me freedom to pick my own lifestyle. So back in January 2019, one of my friends from college, he introduced trading to me. And then I was just looking around how I could learn. Normally YouTube's the first thing that everyone goes to. And then afterwards I thought, let me join a course, let me see what I could do there. And I joined the first trading course that you had back in 2019. I joined that March 2019.
Person course.
Yeah, and then it was going well. It was quite intense, quite short as well.
4-week course.
4-week course. Yeah, it was just.
Did you do any trading in between?
Yeah, so before that, from YouTube, I thought I knew something in trading, which I gave a go. You know, I put £10,000 into a personal account, which was all my savings at the time. And I was essentially gambling. You know, it was working. I gambled all the way up to £50,000 in 3 days. And then I lost it all in 2 hours. And yeah, that was that.
That was before the course?
That was a month before the course. So it kind of messed up my mentality going into the course because I've seen so much money, I've seen the greed of trading. So after the course, I was trading a £1,000 personal account and I managed to turn it to £6,000 in 3 weeks with 100% discipline, all the rules that I learned in the course. So that was a 500% increase, percentage gain. But it didn't have longevity, you know, there wasn't. After the course, it's quite lonely, you know, you don't really have anyone you could go to if you're struggling. And from that, it just kept going down and down and down for me. Eventually, I blew that account as well. So I was still it came to that point where I just lost everything I learned from the course, like it just faded away because I was trying new things, you know, new YouTube strategies and whatnot, just testing out a lot. And it was kind of a roller coaster up until about November 2021. So from about May 2019 to November 2021, it was just me trying new things, making a bit, losing even more, making a bit, losing even more, until I just gave myself a break in November 2020. So I had no money, so I was like, I need to kind of get away from trading and do something that makes me money, which is something I didn't want to do because it came back into full time. So I was doing a full-time delivery job from November to June 2021, 7 months. And then that's when I was ready to trade again because it's what I want to do with my life. I want to be a trader. So June 2021 is when I joined the 4-stage course. At the time, I was kind of confused with it. It felt quite a lot of essay writing. You know, I didn't see the purpose of it at the time. That's probably just my mind. It's probably everyone's mindset initially. Like, why are we doing this? This is like, you know, we're not in school. And then, yeah, so I got that done because it was a lot of writing, like a lot of words, like 5,000 words or something. And then I moved on to stage one. Stage one.
How did you feel about talking about your psychology for the first time? Because up until that point, did you ever value your psychology and how your brain thinks and having to put that on paper? Have you ever done that?
No, so I've never written it on paper. I've never looked at it myself and deeped it. Like, damn, is this me?
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always, I know how I am, but sometimes that can change over time. But I won't be able to see the change, if that makes sense. So based on my strengths and weaknesses that you have to write in the foundation program, I realized like I mainly noticed my weaknesses, that they were all somewhat probably the reason why I haven't been able to progress in trading. It was all like being obsessive, gambling. I had like a gambling mindset, things that I never realized until I wrote it down. So this from the foundation program, which was back in June 2021. For my weaknesses, I'll start with my strengths. For my strengths, I'm driven, I have good time management, I'm enthusiastic, resilient, and I'm working to the best of my ability, which is somewhat what a lot of people have generically. And then weaknesses is probably where you really like deeply see yourself.
Just to stop you there, anything there in the strengths which you identify that really helped you with trading or to keep motivated with trading even after such a hard start?
I'd say it's my being driven. That's the main one for me, because it is really easy to give up, because giving up is like the easy route out, easy way out. But like being driven and staying in a hard situation requires a lot to do, mentally.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got a lot of people that attempt trading.
Yeah.
And then when they don't see that their success is not easy, they quickly tap out.
Yeah.
So being driven, what made you, or is there anything specific that happened in your life or something that you wanted to, specifically you're so determined to do this?
It was just, I'd probably say it's just, I was never like a person who grew up following I was never good at education. Let's just start with that. So I probably wouldn't have survived in a 9 to 5. It wasn't me. It didn't fit with my personality, and I wanted like a change in life, like in my lifestyle. Like I wanted a life that people dream of, and that's kind of what kept me going.
That's good. Then we move forward. Okay, so that's with this. So your expectations from the program. What was the expectations from there? So you started the full stage course again. So you must have had some sort of hope. You must have thought, okay, there's still something more that I can do. So what attracted you to this program, the full stage, rather than going to say somewhere else?
So it was more of like a personal link, obviously, because I knew of you before, because of the first course, and I've done it in person. I know how you are in terms of real, and the previous course was good. It just lacked a few factors that wasn't there. So you had a new course, and I saw the testimonials. I saw what everyone's doing. I saw the regular updates on students, best students of the week, what pips they're catching. So I thought that let me just give it another go. It's a different program. It could potentially be better. So I thought I'd give it a go. Stage 1, it was a lot of it was like homework. That's how it felt. There's a lot of things that needed to be learnt and had to be implemented. It was quite there was like a big amount of work for like what someone would expect. And it did take me longer than I thought. I was working at the time, so that played a part, but it was quite intense.
How quick did you do stage 1?
It took me 1 month to do stage 1.
1 month to do stage 1. Now this is by someone who's got previous trading experience. And obviously you learned so much within that period.
Yeah.
How was the strategies and the concepts to do for someone who's had so much previous experience?
Yeah, so with me having a lot of knowledge, the thing with my knowledge, it could be a bit messed up. So what I wanted with this course was to make sure I forget everything I learned before, because I came to this course to learn this course's style. So that was quite a challenge for me, trying to forget things that I've learned in the past.
It was hard, it was difficult.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Do you think it would be easier for someone who's brand new?
Definitely, yeah, because they don't have any bad habits. It's like they have like a new start, a fresh start, nothing that can come back from the past. No psychological errors, nothing.
Interesting. Then we go to stage 2. So stage 1 you completed in 1 month. Foundation program in how long?
A week, I think.
And then
Yeah.
foundation to stage 1. Stage 2, how did you find stage 1?
Stage 1.
Sorry. How did you find stage 2?
Stage 2 took me 2 weeks to do. Like, I think I wasn't working then. That's when I quit my job. You know, I wanted to fully focus on trading, which probably wasn't the best thing because I wasn't earning. So mentally, it is a bit draining to spend time on something that's not making you money, essentially, or having any backup money. But I put my head down and I just focused. I just made sure I could smash it out as quick as possible. And that's probably why it took me 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And during this period of time, you weren't working?
No.
So that goes to show you had pretty much full trust in the program.
Yeah, I had full trust in it. It was a big risk from my end, but I was willing to take it.
Full risk, yeah. Not a lot of people who do that. A lot of people, even sometimes I advise people to have a backup job or a part-time job before you do the program.
Yeah, I don't think I told you that I wasn't working in case you told me to get a part-time job or something. I kind of kept that to myself.
Yeah, I probably would have, 100% I would
Yeah.
have. Not probably, I would have. Definitely, because some people do come and say that, and then I'm like to them, don't, like, you have to get a full-time job and then do the 4-stage programs. Like, I had some students, 18, 19-year-olds, they ask me, can I do the program? I got the money, but I'm not working. It's not a good idea because you're fully stressed into it.
Yeah, it's a big risk.
Big risk.
Yeah.
Big risk. Then you move over to stage 1 and stage 2. Obviously, it's the concepts and the theories and the strategies.
Yep.
How was stage 3?
Stage 3 is probably the most challenging stage. However, it's probably the best stage as well in terms of interaction and getting along with the community and like being actually hands-on with the trading market. It's probably, I'd say, is where you get your actual experience of trading from.
And how long did you take to complete stage 3?
So stage 3 took me 12 weeks in total.
So 3 months,
Yeah.
And catching 500 pips. So obviously you caught 500 pips again.
Yep.
First you had to do the majors and the prospers and the majors and prospers. Obviously you had to do like that order.
Yeah.
So how did you feel? Was it any different compared to before, how you caught the 500 pips? So you must have caught more than 500 pips before.
Yes.
You caught like 1,700, 1,800 pips before.
Yeah.
So how different was it to now go back and do this again?
So before, although I did catch a lot of pips, it wasn't clean. Like it was a lot of stress. There was a lot of stress to it because I was pretty much on the charts like 24 hours a day. Whereas with this layout, it's about minimizing your time on the chart so you can enjoy the rest of the day. And catching the 500 pips this time around, there was more understanding of how I caught the 500 pips, or like how I lost trades, how I won trades. There was more understanding of it, and there was a lot of evaluations to it. You know, adjusting on your errors, getting feedback from mentor. You know.
Yeah. So you've done that, managed to do the 500 pips. So with moving forward then, so you're going to stage 4. And in stage 4, how did you feel now that you know how to trade now, you are good at trading? How did you feel moving to stage 4?
So with stage 4, I knew it was starting the challenge. I knew I can trade it. I believe I am a good trader, but mentally I wouldn't say I'm the strongest because psychology plays a much bigger part than knowing how to trade, in my opinion. And I always kept remembering that while I was doing the challenge, because I know if I lose my psychology, I could blow my account, which I've paid money for now, because with the challenge you have to pay to do it.
So FTMO you're talking about specifically?
Yeah, FTMO.
Challenge. So why did you, before we go to FTMO, why did you choose to do FTMO rather than fund your own capital?
So firstly, I don't have the capital I'd like to trade with, whereas with FTMO, if I pass the challenge, I will have capital to trade with. Also, it will be more stress-free because once I pass the challenge, I know my money's not on the line anymore. So it gives me like a sense of freedom to trade with, you know, like just a breath of fresh air kind of thing.
So risk-free, pretty much.
Risk-free, yeah.
That's great. That's why we went to FTMO, because people don't know that FTMO. They think he doesn't know that. He knows how to trade. Why doesn't he just trade with his own capital? And you've done that in the past.
Yeah.
You deposit £10,000. You put the money in, and then it did go very well. Then it also went down.
Yeah.
But then was FTMO there?
So
Did you know about FTMO around that time?
yeah, so near around 2020, a year before I joined this course, I got to know of FTMO and how they work, and that's when I was like, this could potentially help me come back up, recover the losses I've made over the years.
2019, you didn't know about it when you deposited the first.
No, so had I known about it, I might not have deposited 10k and lost 10k.
It wasn't there. As far as I know, maybe they were there, but it wasn't as prominent
Yeah,
as it is now.
it wasn't known of.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's 2019 to 2020, 1 year after you found out about it.
Yeah.
And then, so let's talk about the FTMO challenges that's on the screen. So that's where when you first found out about it, that's when, what happened?
So when I heard about FTMO, and I looked into it, I was quite intrigued. I was like, this is promising. This is a chance for me to trade big capital as long as I pass the challenges. And I think my ego was quite high back then. I thought I could just do it. It's only 10% is how I saw it. So I went in, I paid for the challenges, and I failed. But I just thought it was just a little blip. I'll do it again. And I failed again, but I kept going. In total, before the course, I lost 5 challenges in total.
5 challenges?
Yeah.
They were 10,000, 8,000, how much was it?
So there was I started with like a £10,000 challenge account.
Yeah.
Didn't work. And I was like, you know what, why am I wasting my time? Let me do a £70,000 challenge account. I passed that one, failed the verification. In my head, I'm like, I passed the challenge. I can surely do this again.
What risk were you using when you were doing those?
Probably like 1-2%.
1 to 2%?
Yeah, which isn't, it doesn't give me much breathing space. But
5 trades and you're out pretty much.
pretty much, yeah. It was quite a bad style.
So you done the challenge, you passed 70k, and then you lost it.
Yep.
And then you did another one?
Yeah, so in total, I failed 5 challenges.
5. So all of them are 70ks or?
Yeah, one was the 10k, but the rest were 70s.
70. So in total, you invested
£2,000.
£2,000 just on challenges.
Yeah.
Before the course.
Before the course, yeah.
Perfect. Oh, that's quite a.
Yeah.
And then, did you not? Then what? So then you thought, I have to learn or do this properly because you saw the FTMO post that we post, or that's probably what gave you a bit of motivation. You still start from scratch. Then let's move forward. So what was the gap in between? So what was the last challenge that you did before the course? What day was it?
So it was. So I believe it was. I think it was in November 2020, just when I quit trading.
2020.
Yeah.
And then you did the challenge after the course, the first one.
Yeah. So the first challenge after the course was. It was on I believe the first week of December.
How many weeks of demo trading did you do on stage 3 and stage 4 in preparation for the challenge?
So throughout stage 3, I was demo trading on the free trial that FTMO provide. So that was 12 whole weeks of just practicing live trading on a demo account.
Okay. So a very good flow.
Yeah.
And then when you got into it, what happened for the first challenge?
So I remember before taking the challenge, I asked you, I said I'm in good rhythm, I feel ready, but what do you think? Because you're experienced more than I am. And I remember you said to go for it because you're in good momentum. It's probably the best time for you to take it. So I took it. And then when I started I went for the £140,000 account. And I passed it in 3 days.
3 days?
Yeah.
3 days. That's using how much risk?
0.2% per trade.
0.2% risk, okay. And then what happened after passing?
So,
how did you feel? What was your emotions before you started the unification?
So my spirit was quite high, but with FTMO, it requires minimum 10 days of trading. So I traded 3 days. I had 7 days to go to just wait around. I was quite eager to get back on the charts, and I think that played a part to my psychology because when I started the verification, I think I just went in head in first, you know, like I was trying to like match my challenge, you know.
Maybe walk us through the challenge log. Just show us briefly about what you did with the challenge, and then so we can see how you started. It's on the 4th tab, I think.
Yeah, is it screen recording?
Yeah, screen recording, yeah.
So I've got my screenshot here of the curve. So I started this one on the 8th of November, sorry, not the start of December.
Yeah, 8th of November, yeah.
So you can see I started off with losses. In total, I was down 6,700
on
the challenge, which is about less than 300 from hitting the daily cap. And then with time, I was able to build it back up and I passed the challenge.
Okay.
So
you started off on a big negative.
Yeah.
And then after that, you traded the next day, or was it the same day you pulled it back up?
I believe it was probably the next day. I can check one sec. If it pulls up, yeah. So it was the next day that I pulled it back up, and then the following day.
I know the importance of stopping just before.
Yeah.
Because some people might think, I have £300 left, let me just go out. So you thought, let me start fresh the next day, and then you moved forward. Okay. And then you passed the challenge in 2 days. 2 days?
3 days.
3 days.
Because the first day was I made a lot of losses, and then the following 2 is what got me to the 10% target.
Then you go to the verification account. What happened then?
So I went into the verification thinking it's going to be easy because it's only 5%, as opposed to the challenge, which requires you to catch 10% of the capital. And it was a roller coaster. I started with losses. You know, I was down in total. The most I was down was 10,000, which it was about 8%. So I only have 2% left to work with the account. So it's quite stressful because I'm really close to blowing the challenge, the verification challenge. I managed to pick it back up to break even, and then come back again. I'm back down 8%. And then I tried again and it just didn't work, and that's when I blew the
So were you trading in the same
verification
style and techniques that you were doing in stage 3 and when you passed stage 3? Because actually, no, you weren't. Because
Yeah.
What happened? Why such a break
So
of character? Why such a break of the usual way of trading? Why do you think this happened?
So with the verification, in my head, I'm like, I'm really close to finally being funded, finally earning money. And I think that idea of it put a lot of pressure on me. And I know myself as a trader, I've got a lot of bad habits from the past. Things that I've learned that haven't worked, my gambling mindset that could play a part, you know, and that kicked in. You know, everything I learned in the last couple months of the current course, I literally forgot about it and went back to what wasn't working in the past. Essentially my gambling mindset kicked in, you know, and that's when I really learned that. So as good as you can be with your psychology, you can never be 100% with it, because it will always be there. And you know, it's clear in my curve that, you know.
Remember, you didn't log your trades. Your whole
Yeah.
worth of trades were unlogged.
Yeah, I didn't log it because I was just so like demotivated, upset about it. I was like, how can I log this? This such a, it doesn't portray the right image, you know.
How many trades did you do that week?
I think it was like 200 or something. It says somewhere here.
Over trading, your weaknesses of obsessiveness, gambling, all of that you identified came up. Do you have on your wall these words stuck on a piece of paper or something?
Oh, what words?
On your living wall.
What kind of words are you talking?
Like your weaknesses, obsessiveness, gambling mentality.
No.
Stuck.
No, I don't.
I think you should.
I should. I've got a whiteboard. I should write it.
Whiteboard you can wipe it away, but if it's like on a piece of paper, you stuck it or even write on the wall.
Yeah, my mom will shout at me.
But I think you have to, you know that.
Yeah.
Because you know it, you know it's a problem, but
Yeah.
you're allowing yourself to do it. So I think that's the biggest thing. So that's good. So that you identify that you lost it. Now you're back to square one again.
Should I just get it tattooed on my thumb? So if I'm about to place the trade.
I don't have to get tattoos. I wish it was allowed, but like I said, yeah. So you go back to square one now.
Yeah.
You must feel distraught.
Yeah, I've literally, it was my coming into the course, I really wanted to change my mindset more than anything else, because my mindset's my weakest problem. You know, I always tell myself I'm my worst enemy, you know, and I was doing really well. Like my flow was great. I passed the challenge with great flow. Come to the verification, and the pressure got to me, and I lost everything I learnt basically, in a single day, essentially. Like 4 months of learning and experience that I'm building, good experience, all gone down the drain in one day.
What was the cause of the whole? Like, what do you think? Where did it start? Like, what was the cause of you breaking down? Did you analyze everything that happened that day
Yeah,
for you
so
to break down? What
I
was
think it was literally just a mental thing. It wasn't even, I don't even think it was to do with trading. I think it was just like me and myself kind of thing. Like I've spent 3 years in trading. It's a lot of time, you know. It comes with a lot of sacrifices as well. And I think that all just built up, and I was like, you know what, let me just gamble it. And yeah, the worst thing I could have done, I did.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then you make the decision to start again.
Yeah.
What made you do it?
I had like a really like big, one thing with me, I feel like I can evaluate quite well. Like once I have a bad trading day, I can evaluate and realize I can accept it, like kind of humble myself and be like, you know what, you can do it. You just gotta stop battling with yourself, you know, like get back on the charts and like kind of man up essentially, and just do what you know is right. And it is clear with most of my challenges and my verifications, I always start with a negative and I'm able to have a nice flow back up.
Yeah.
And
Like that. So you start another challenge,
yeah,
and then how did that go?
so I started another challenge in the same week. I blew the verification. So I blew the verification on the Wednesday, and I started a new challenge on the Thursday, which you guys didn't know about because the webinar was on Friday or Saturday. And I remember I built it back up quite a lot Thursday, Friday, and then Monday just when I went back on is what made me pass the challenge.
Back to back, you pretty much done another one. So that's again shows your mentality. Pretty much went straight dive back into the charts.
Yeah.
And then now you move to the verification. So the second verification, what happened?
Yeah, so let me pull up the second verification.
But you always have this rhythm of starting on a negative and then going into the positive, isn't it? So was that the same?
Yeah, so you can see my curve. It's quite sad to say. I was down quite a lot. You know, in total I was down 8% on the second verification.
Similar, same exact position.
Exact position. I literally saw it, and my head just went. I was like, oh, why is this happening again? You know, I thought I've overcome this. This time it was. I think I'm trying my best to remember, but
why do you try to finish the verification challenges always in like a few days when you have like 30 days or 60 days? Because people watching it, they might be asking this question. They're like, why is this guy in such a rush?
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's just I think I just don't like wasting time is how I see it. You know, I saw it as, you know, 2021's coming to an end. I saw it as like getting funded before that would be a great start to 2022. It will be perfect because in December it's a bit of a strange trading time.
Advise trading against these markets this month.
Yeah.
Of the year. So the fact that you got challenges and verification done in this month.
Yeah.
It's a very difficult task.
Yeah, it is, but you guys have advised us that it is safe to trade. Like, there's certain weeks that are safe to trade. The strategy works during this time.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, this specific strategy works. You know, maybe for like other traders, other strategies might not work during December, but like for for this course it works fine. It's just maybe not the last week during Christmas, but generally it works.
And then what happened after? So you passed. How did you manage to pull the verification back from 8% down?
So I went down almost 5. I was £150 away from blowing the daily loss limit. You know, that's like 0.1% away, and that was all on day one. And then I managed to just get some flow back, you know, with what the course has taught, keep some rhythm, and I built it back up, and then eventually passed the 5%. When I saw it reach the 5%, I closed all my trades. You know, I was relieved,
Finished,
literally.
verification. And then moving forward, final step is the funded account. So what happened with the funded account?
So the funded account was this week, you know, starting Monday. I didn't get the funded account until about 3 p.m. That's when most of the day of trading has come to an end.
Did you start trading from 3 p.m.? You did?
Yeah. Not as much, but I did. At around about 5 p.m. I did place a couple trades.
Okay. And how did they do?
So one of them I took a loss on, and the other one closed at break even. It was in good profit, but I think I messed around with my take profits, my profit. What the course told us to do, I didn't do again, and my trade that was in good profit closed the entry.
The one that you were holding out for too long, and then you came
Yeah.
back to break even. Okay. Yeah. And then after that,
So
talk me through the day. So that was during the day.
yeah, so came Tuesday midnight. That's when the trading day technically starts, Asia session. And I don't know why I couldn't sleep that day. So I thought,
The nerves of having a funded account.
the nerves of having a funded account. I thought, let me jump on the charts while I was in bed on my phone. So I didn't even have my laptop out. I was just trading off my phone, which is probably like the worst thing you could do.
Yeah,
You know, it's
funded account, of course, yeah.
It's also a rule on the course not to trade off your phone. And you can see here it was the 14th of December. In 24 trades in total, I lost £6,700 in the space of like 4 hours, 3-4 hours, because I was awake until like 4 a.m. And there's a daily loss limit of 5%, so I knew like I had no choice but to stop. And the result of that is I couldn't trade in the from 8 a.m. the normal time of trading, because I don't have the space to trade. My daily loss limit would be hit. So my mentality, my psychology ruined my opportunity to have a good trading day, because I've blown my chance overnight.
Yeah, just because of night time, you couldn't sleep, you traded.
Yeah.
So your psychology again,
Yeah.
a problem, which is the obsessiveness,
Yeah.
the gambling mentality. Even after learning about everything and coming up to this point, it's still being challenged by that. But what's helping you get recovered, and what helped you again,
Yeah.
is your risk to reward.
Yeah.
What happened afterwards?
So my risk to reward ratio was I had quite a good risk to reward based off what I've learned in the course, you know, and it was shown through my wins, you know, like in total on Wednesday, I made £18,000, which recovered my losses and put me up 10k in profit. And I remember I messaged you and I said, I'm in 10k profit. What should I do? You know, should I carry on? Should I not? And you said call it a year. You know, it's good profit. It's the first funded account. You know, you don't have a backup account. Don't risk it. And that's what I did.
Nice. Finished at 80, so 10k profit. So that's £8,000 profit split.
Yeah.
2k 80-20 split.
Yeah.
So again, so it was a roller coaster from the start to now.
Yeah.
But that's why I said to you, just call it, because you're still tackling this psychological impatience, obsession. I think we need to focus on this, because your trading strategy is good. Because I don't think you had a negative week, apart from maybe 1 week in the past, maybe 14 or 15 weeks of trading.
Yeah, I can pull up my performance tracker.
Performance tracker.
that's pretty much what shows everything I've had. So yeah, so all my overall pips are all here. First 2 weeks were negatives because I was new to live trading. It was expected, and then I had
This is start of stage 3,
start of stage 3 in August. So I started with 2 weeks negative, not a lot, minus 127 pips, and then minus 50 pips, and then I came into positives. I had 2 weeks I was positive, and then the third week I hit the first 500 pip target, and then the following week I was positive. I didn't hit the target. I remember that week I stopped trading on Wednesday because I would have hit the target, but I didn't like the way I was trading, so I didn't want to pass that week. And then the week after I broke even. I had 2 more weeks of positives. Then I had my first negative week after like 7-8 weeks of trading in stage 3. And after that, because it was the crossbear challenge, I was quite frustrated with it because I wasn't a fan of crossbears at the time. And I remember I spoke to I spoke to Nadeem, and you guys advised me in the webinar on how to deal with it, how to handle it. And then I come back the following week and I passed the crossbear challenge straight away. And then following week was the next challenge, which I passed. And then came the actual challenge, which I passed.
Yeah.
And yeah.
How many negative weeks out of all weeks you had? Or
3
3 negative weeks out of 15, or?
out of 15, 16.
Yeah, it goes to show the overall weeks, your strategy and trading is great.
Yeah.
But what you struggle with is what happens in between.
Yeah.
And that's your biggest problem, is yourself.
Yeah.
Which is your biggest challenge now, to focus on, to see what solutions you can do, solutions you can create for these problems. Like, for example, sticking up these things, these pointers that before you trade or before you do on your wall.
Yeah.
Using your wall, something you can constantly remind yourself, or having set rules, or like on your phone, because if you don't, because right now I feel like you're freestyling a lot.
Yeah.
Because of that, it's causing you to ruin effort and work, and you don't want to do that again. So what's your goals moving forward now? What would you say?
Honestly, my goals moving forward is mainly work. I know I can trade. I know I'm a good trader. It's just I just need to work on my mentality, my psychology. You know, I wanna be comfortable trading. I don't wanna have to stress over trading. Like it's good to make 10k and whatnot, but it doesn't become worth it in the end. It doesn't make you feel as good as you wish you were feeling, because you know, like I know mentally, I went through like a challenge. You know, I went down, then I went up. Going forward, I want to work on how I trade, you know, my psychology behind it, you know, just getting it right.
Yeah, that's true. What would you say, what kind of plan have you created to get your psychology better?
So, obviously with the FTMO account, the funded account, you can lose it at any point. You know, if you go below 10%, they'll close the account. You've lost all your hard work. So, I remember you told me it's better to get a backup account. So do another challenge, maybe 2 or 3, 4 backups, because that way it's not necessarily for trading. It's just so to have a peace of mind. So when I am actually trading one of my accounts, I'll know in my head that if anything does go wrong, I've got another one, and the effects of knowing that, it would result in me trading better, because I'll have a sense of freedom in my mind that I'm safe. Even if I blow this account, I'm safe.
Yeah.
And that way I won't blow the account.
Exactly. Yeah, you won't. Also, I think having like a cap as to how much trades you do per day, I think that would really help.
Yeah.
And you sticking to that now that you got the funded account, because right now you don't really have a cap, do you?
No, I don't.
Like a certain cap limit. Like FTMO gives you a cap.
Yeah.
But I think you should have one cap for yourself.
I have a cap I've written on my whiteboard, but I'm not sure if it's the best. It was to try trade max 2 session opens.
Yeah. Session open, the thing is, the Asia session, you could sit there all day, all night,
Yeah.
trade 20 trades.
Yeah.
You know, that then after they do another 20 trades in London, and you still not have hit the cap.
Yeah.
You'll be according to your trading rules.
There's a loophole in it.
Yeah, you'll be fine. But you done it according to how you feel like. I think, but you should have
Yeah.
a set number of trades
Yeah.
that you trade, or set number of scenarios.
Yeah.
But trades are, of course, or percentage risk per day.
Yeah, that'll
Nice.
be like a 1% or
1%.
something.
If you lose 1% for today, you stop for today and you trade tomorrow.
Yeah.
I think that will be a better solution.
Yeah, I need to
Because
implement
right
it.
now, if FTMO gives you 5%, and what you do is you tease it right to the end to go to like 4.5%,
Yeah.
and then try to pull it back. So I think you should really have a 1% rule per day,
Yeah.
and then if you have that 1% rule per day, you know if you lose, you automatically call it quits. That means that 5 trades of 0.2%. As soon as you lose that, you call it a day.
Yeah. I think you need to create a stage 5 for funded traders.
Stage 5, I think stage 4. I think now that you're in stage 4, it goes to show you psychology is the biggest challenge
Yeah.
of the day, because no matter how good of someone can be as a trader technically, or just as their skills, the psychologies that you identified in the foundation program is still being a challenge.
Yeah.
But what we want to do is create solutions to mitigate that problem. And I think we've done a great job up until now. And what was your goal at the start when you started it in June? Was it to get funded by?
Yeah, it was to get funded by the end of this year, just so I can have a good 2022, like a good start to it, and hopefully keep the flow going.
And what's your goal for 2022? Have you created it or have you not?
Yeah, it's just to stay consistent, just work on my psychology, because it's still a problem.
Psychology is good, but I think you should also create some plan, just like you said, some achievements such as I wanted to get funded with one account.
Yeah.
You need to create a goal for the next 6 months up until mid-quarter, second quarter finishing of 2022. Have a goal there, and you should have another goal for the end of 2022.
Yeah.
But if you have that, then this is a very common problem with a lot of people is they get funded and they say, I just want to be consistent.
Yeah.
I just want to be...
It's quite brief.
Flow. Very brief, and there is no real substance behind that goal. There is no numbers, there is no figures, there's no targets, there's no deadlines, there is no pound signs, there's no dollar signs. There's no time objectives.
Yeah.
It's like, what are you chasing? That's also an issue. So I would say do that as well. I think that's definitely going to be a big task.
Yeah, I'll definitely do that.
First quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and fourth quarter. Do it quarterly.
And then probably adjust it as each quarter goes by.
Yeah, not adjust it too much, but like the goals, it has to be realistic.
Yeah.
And also be as consistent with the webinars as if you started in stage 1.
Yeah.
This is the biggest problem, because a lot of people go to stage 4 and they think, yeah, I know how to trade, I'm funded, but you have to now reset your mentality and trade as if you know nothing. This is the biggest challenge. A lot of people become cocky, a lot of people become very arrogant, think, I've done it once, I can do it again. There's no problem, I'll lose it once, I can win it again.
Yeah.
But what you really want to do is, how did you feel when you came to the foundation? You did everything right, correctly. You need to set your mentality back to that. If you do that, you'll do this for another 5, 6, 10 years.
Yeah. It's going to be hard, but... It's going to be hard, but yeah.
That's the challenging part. And that's where a lot of people lose it. A lot of new traders who become funded, from my experience, from me seeing it, they lose it because of that mindset, that they can't reset themselves back into their original mindset, because you made such good progress over the last 6 months. Why? Your mindset was, I don't know anything. I'm learning, I'm learning, I'm learning. Now, from learning, you're like, I'm a free bird mentality.
Yeah.
You want to go back to learning mentality.
Yeah. Also, I feel like something that a lot of people do, which I've noticed, is from after stage 3, a lot of people disappear.
Yeah? Why?
Yeah, they just feel like they've got it, like they can do it.
Exactly.
But one good thing, like for myself, I've officially finished stage 4. I've finished the course, but I know I could attend a webinar if I needed the help. Like, because you guys I'm still in the group chat that's created. I'll still be able to join, get guidance if I need it, which I probably will. That's something I don't think a lot of other courses give. Once your course is done, it's done. But with you guys, if I need help, I can come back.
Exactly. 100%. And that's what you don't want to do. You don't want to come back. You want to always be there.
Yeah.
That's the mentality that you should have. Like when you start at stage 3, you're trading on a demo account.
Yeah.
You're hitting targets on a demo account. You come back every week with new for Nadeem or me to give you feedback every week. And then what you do, you go for the next week. What has changed? Nothing has changed. You're still trading. It's just that it's from a demo account to a funded account.
Yeah.
You're still seeing the same market. You're still using the same rules, trades. Everything remains the same. So there's no reason to think I'm doing anything different. You're doing the exact same thing but on a funded account. So why people whose mentality change, I don't know, but it's just human nature. But you don't want to let that happen. I'm just upgrading you at once so that in maybe 6 months again we can do an update video.
Yeah.
Should be
That'll be good to see if I've listened to what you've said.
Definitely. This
Or
is why it's being recorded. So play it back in the big screen in 4K.
Keep accountability.
Thank you, Rohel, for your time.
Thank you for having me, man.
We'll have an update very soon from you.
Thank you.